Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to the show. I am here. Garrett is here. You notice the two of us on screen right this minute. I would do a wider screen, but you'd see my bed in the background. I do have a little bit of an update that I think the house in Michigan may have sold today, which means we can quickly, soon. I wouldn't say like next week. It's going to take a minute for everything to go through, but hopefully we can start working on that studio downstairs. I meant to take some pictures. I was kind of running around today. It was kind of a crazy day. I'll get to that in a minute. But I'll get those to you, Garrett, maybe over the weekend, and on Monday we can show people kind of an outlay of how things are going to look and that kind of stuff. Raj is not here. I haven't heard from Raj. He might be mad at me, just from our text exchange yesterday. If he pops in, I'll pull him up. I'm a little pissy about yesterday just because of, I'd have been just fine. I love Raj, and I'd have been just fine. It was like, fuck, I must have missed that in our end of show discussion about start time tomorrow, but it was like single, double, triple, quadruple down on nothing. And it's like, come on, man. So if he shows up in here, great. If not, great. And it wouldn't normally bother me, but as I said, we ended up doing a show yesterday in the members area, and we did a little over an hour, and I think that's available to all members, no matter what price level, whatever, patreon.com/TDC Podcast. That's my intent. AA run threw it in there, so I think that's okay. We don't need to bring it in, but bring in Aaron. But I think that's how that went. So it should be in there. And I kind of talked about this, what happened, but it made it a little difficult because I prep a show different based on who's going to be in the room. So if I have a guest in, I kind of prep a show based on them a little bit. Still try to keep it TDC, but just a little different. So the story set yesterday was a little whack. So I was like, fuck it, let's just go members area, and Garrett and I can kick the ball around. I grabbed a couple stories, I think, and threw them in there, which was fine. So for members, you at least got a show yesterday, and today Garrett and I are here. So welcome. Hello. Garrett. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing all right. It's just
hanging in there.
Long old day. Yeah.
Long day. Every time. You know what? You're too fucking young to be complaining about.
Yeah, it's blue collar work, man. You wouldn't understand.
Yeah.
That's a real working man's job.
Yeah. Yeah. What? Cleaning fire extinguishers?
I'm one of them damn blue collar tweakers.
Yeah, that's okay. But here's something to look forward to. It's only going to get way worse as you get older.
I know.
So keep that in mind. I woke up today. I got a text yesterday from Verizon. And now usually what I do when I get texts from anything, Facebook saying, oh my God, you're compromised, or oh my God, you owe us $500. I send a screenshot to AA Ron and I go, is this bullshit? Do I need to pay attention to this? I didn't want to bother him. I bother him enough. So I got one from Verizon saying you're late on a bill or something. And I was like, okay, usually it's auto pay. But since I got to Arizona, I got a new phone. And G was like, why don't we throw it just, for $30, I can just add you to the family plan and it might save you a few dollars and it's no big deal. I was like, okay, sure. Let's just do that. So we did that. Well, I got this thing saying I owed this money, and it's like, it's only been a month. I mean, how much could I fucking owe him? And then this morning, TV's on. I got up kind of early. I was up at 7:30 and TV was on. All of a sudden at 8:00, I get the circle of death on my TV. I'm like, fuck, internet's out? What the hell's going on? So I go to text G, who's upstairs, and it gives me a message. It's like, yeah, your service is shut off for non-payment. I'm like, fuck.
So I go
upstairs.
Text.
Yeah. And G's like, yeah, my internet's down too. He doesn't know what's going on. So anyways, we had to go to Verizon this morning. And it turns out like the auto pay, because we moved, didn't transfer. It's a lot of bullshit. But anyways, we got it squared away, and then everything was okay. But it is amazing just how apocalyptic it feels when internet goes down or power goes out or you don't have a phone. You don't realize like just how often it's like, oh, I'll just text G and ask. It's like, oh no, I can't do that. Oh no, you know what? I'll just go down and do a little prep early. No, I can't do that. Oh, I'll go see what's going on in the world on the TV. You can't do it. None of it. It's all out. And it's just like a helpless, horrible feeling. Horrible. And it's like eating me up. And I don't know if that's my own insecurities. It's my own, because I'm like, oh man, what did I fuck up now? I screwed something up. I didn't pay a bill. Oh man. And, I'm beating myself up. And then it's just such a relief when it's not my fault. But right next door to Verizon, because we couldn't call them to square this away. We had to go in because I didn't have a fucking phone. So right next door is McDonald's, and it's, 9 o'clock in the morning at this point, 10 o'clock in the morning maybe, and they're still serving breakfast. So we're like, yeah, let's pop in there and grab some sausage McMuffins real quick. And I go in because G's on a meeting. Now we've got our phone back, so he's taking a work meeting in the car. But I go in and I just kick open the bathroom door, and there's a dude standing there, and he's got his fucking pants like down, like the base. Yeah, he's got his pants down, and he's looking at his shaved bush, and it's like half his ass is out, like down to the base of his cock, and I'm just like, and it's one of those where you walk in the door, and he's standing right there, and the mirror and sink are right there, and so I'm met with this.
You here for the McCrab too?
What's that?
Did you here for the McCrab too?
Yeah. And I just look at him like, hey there, fella. How we doing? Rough start to the morning, huh? Oof. And he's just like, whoa, whips his pants up and just bolts out of the room. I don't know what he was checking because it was like, it's not like he had a comb out and he was combing something because he was mostly, I had a good view. He was mostly, was he hung? Aaron wants to know. No, I didn't see his actual. It was just to the base. So I saw what would have been just the region above. You
saw the male cleavage.
His man cleavage, and it wasn't shaped. It wasn't V shaped or pie shaped or anything, and it wasn't totally bald. The fact that I know this about this gentleman is fucking weird, but it turns out the guy's in a weird relationship, anyways, because all I ordered at this point was a coffee. I was just like, let me start with a coffee. And because G's in this meeting, I didn't want to bother him. So I sat down at the table, and what do you know? A booth away. I don't know when the last time anyone's inside of McDonald's. It's fucking weird. But a booth away is him and his girl.
Uh-oh.
And all I saw was the back of her head. She appears to be a cute blonde, but she's having an ice cream cone at 9:30 in the morning. Like, who goes into... He's checking his fucking shit out, and she's having a ice cream cone soft serve at 9 o'clock in the morning at McDonald's. Weirdest thing I've ever seen. Well, maybe not the weirdest, but one of. So that's how my day started. How was your day? I know you're tired. You're always fucking tired.
Yeah, it was just a lot of manual labor. Wasn't as interesting as a McDonald's trip and a pubic incident, but
well, as a younger gentleman, is this something that the young community is doing now? Checking their.
You know what? You always got to be safe when you're out there. You probably might have caught something, might want to go get tested. I don't think the McDonald's bathroom's a good spot to look for it. But
no, and if he had like the what do they call that? The
crabs,
like for crabs, yeah. But there's like a specific Rid-X. Is it Rid-X that people use?
I don't know. I've never.
I wouldn't know anything about that. But I think there's stuff that you can put on it. I've heard that will clear something like that up. And they give you a little mini comb. I've heard with these, and it would have been one thing if he was down there with a comb and it's like, okay, so I'm going to stand 8 feet back from this shit. I don't need anything leaping onto me. I thought it was very, very weird. But he seemed rather startled and embarrassed. But
you know what? Stir Crazy makes a good point, though. What's more amazing in the story is that there was a working ice cream machine in that McDonald's. Yeah,
that's true. I know people bitch about that. I honestly, I haven't gotten soft serve ice cream. It always makes me think of Mike Clark. Mike Clark it's the McDonald's at 13 and Woodward. 13 and Woodward. kind of a busy spot, but that was his McDonald's, and he and Trish would go there all the time, and Mike would get the soft serve ice cream. But I know people always bitch about McDonald's and their ice cream being down, the shakes, the ice creams. I don't get them there, so I don't know. But yeah, it was clearly working. It was one of those, she was having a McDonald's cone in the weird. Anyways, why don't we get to some stuff going on in the world? This will not be very political, I don't think. It does involve JD Vance, who is the vice presidential nominee pick for Trump. Do you have any early thoughts on JD Vance?
I'm not a big fan. He's a big central banking kind of guy, and
Yeah.
I'm very anti-central banking.
Okay. Were
So
you
just that alone?
Were you? I'm trying to think when Hillbilly Elegy came out.
I've never read it.
No, the book, but there's a movie with Glenn Close and Amy. Who's the other? Amy Adams in it, and I believe it's a Ron Howard movie. And so there was a window, there was a sweet spot there where the liberals loved him. Briefly. Yeah. He will be the most despised man in America. But so the Associated Press today has deleted an article where they actually went and fact-checked their words, a wild sex claim about JD Vance. The Wire agency, the Associated Press, sparked backlash after it published a piece on the senator which was titled, "No, JD Vance did not have sex with a couch."
I've heard that rumor pop up, and even if it was true, I kind of was like, fuck it, that's some Republican shit.
Yeah, well, is it Republican shit or is it?
It's usually something crazy like that. It's never like the Democrat shit. It's always like the same scandal every time. It's money and it's kids. But Republicans, it's always something crazy.
Well, I think it's is fucking a couch. Is that something that I was thinking about it because I was like, whoa, yeah, that sounds crazy. But then I was like, I bet a lot of dudes have done it. Lots of dudes have fucking done that.
Probably.
If it was JD Vance fucks his family dog, then it'd be like, whoa, holy shit.
Or his recently deceased brother's wife.
Yeah, that would be headline worthy as well. Now, who would ever do that? I mean, come on.
No,
let's be honest.
Nobody.
So they faced backlash, the Associated Press, not JD Vance, after it published a piece that saying that, and it's important. So the headline was, "No, JD Vance did not have sex with a couch." However, by the next day, the AP had removed the article from its archives with the page address showing it is now unavailable. Spokesperson for the AP said, the fact check on Vance did not go through the standard editing process. The amount of times we see that shit where it's like the damage is done. You now have a talking point that stupid people will throw out there forever. Oh, you mean the couch fucker? Oh, the couch fucker? Like the damage is done at that point. So it doesn't matter if you make a retraction or if you go, it didn't go through the proper editing process. No, stupid assholes are now forever going to go, oh, he's the couch fucker. We're probably not helping by doing the story.
No.
The agency is looking into how it got published. Yeah, you do that. The now deleted article came after memes began circling on social media, repeating a false rumor that claimed Vance wrote about having sex with a couch in his best-selling book, Hillbilly Elegy. He wrote about having, comedians like, I use the term loosely, Kathy Griffin jumped on this. She fell for the fake news, writing, "I don't think we should have a couch fucker as our vice president, but that's just me, JD." The false information began circulating on X, Twitter, after the now private account, Rick Rude's Cavs, wrote, "Can't say for sure, but he might be the first VP pick to have admitted in a New York Times bestseller to fucking an inside-out latex glove shoved between two couch cushions."
Prison style.
What's that?
Prison style.
Is that prison style?
Yeah, it's whatever you get your hands on.
Yeah, what do we call that? Fifis. Yeah, a fifi. Is it though? I thought a fifi was tightly rolled up towels. I guess there's probably multiple fifis.
Multiple forms.
Yeah. So a latex glove shoved between the cushions. We can all picture this. I don't know. So The X account then provided a fake reference for the unfounded claim as pages 179 to 181 of Vance's memoir. Some users have theorized that the AP removed the fact check because it actually cannot back up the claim it made. Journalist Tom Gara wrote, "This headline is simply not supported by any evidence, which is a huge problem for a fact check. It should be corrected to, no, JD Vance did not write about having sex with a couch." So do you see the difference there?
Yeah.
No, JD did not have sex with a couch, to no, JD did not write about having sex with a couch. Author Noah Rothman said last night the AP published a, quote, fact check of utterly unknown nobodies. So just some asshole who posted a meme with a fake reference is all he did. And now that they're fact checking that. So he wrote, the AP published a fact check of utterly unknown nobodies who allege that JD Vance fornicated a couch, not because anyone believed that, but because it introduces that nonsense into the bloodstream. Today, it's gone. So sleazy. I couldn't agree more. That's exactly what that is.
I kind of want to keep spreading it. It's just such a good one.
It sort of is, but it's just so diabolical. You look, if people want to do that, if someone wants to come out with a rumor that Robert Gere is shoving gerbils up his ass, or Rod Stewart is get his stomach pumped for having too much cum in his stomach. Excuse me, Jesus, I'm wheezing. Whatever. You're never going to stop just people from being people and stuff like that. But when you introduce the mainstream media into it to, oh, we fact check this, you're giving absolute oxygen to this fire for the purpose of doing exactly that. So the Kathy Griffins of the world will make it like this is real and put it out there. My thought is there's probably, like, if every kid that fucked a couch growing up is going to be held to the fire for that, nobody would go anywhere, because I think if people are being honest, I'm not saying I'm a couch fucker, but I think lots of people probably have. It's not like a dog fucker or he found a dead body in the woods and fucked that, that would be different.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, is that this is ridiculous enough and there's no victim to it that it's kind of a funny one. That's why I'm like, whatever. I think it's kind of funny. I want to kind of spread it a little bit more.
Are you going to make
victim there? Well, what I'm saying is, like, if you say he's a kid fucker, then he can get attacked for that. That is something that is very criminal to say about somebody. But a couch fucker, it's like, yeah, whatever. Nobody's going to take that seriously.
Yeah, well,
and if you do, then you're probably part of the problem.
Kathy Griffin did, and she's definitely part of the problem.
Part of the problem.
Now, my issue with JD Vance is a little different on this one today, because Jennifer Aniston has come out and take a shot. I love Jen Aniston. I really do. Big fan. Something about her aging right now is rubbing me the wrong way. I don't know. I read an article yesterday about all the shit people are doing to themselves, and younger generations especially. Like, why do these 22-year-olds look like they're in their 30s? And it was a whole thing about it. But Jennifer Aniston was one of those that's just so blessed with good genes, that she was going to be, smoking hot at 60. She just was. Yeah. She was one of those super, super blessed people, but there's something kind of plasticky going on that I'm like, I don't think that's natural. But whatever, to each their own. So she criticized JD Vance for resurfaced comments calling Democrats a bunch of childless cat ladies with miserable lives. Boy, that's a stupid attack. So it's an interview from 21 that was shared at the time. I truly can't believe that this is coming from a potential VP of the United States. All I can say is, Mr. Vance, I pray that your daughter is fortunate enough to bear children of her own one day. Vance has a 2-year-old daughter and a couple sons. I hope she will not need to turn to IVF as a second option, because you are trying to take that away from her too. Country miserable. I don't know if that was hashtag or not. She has been open about her struggles and using IVF. In the clip, JD Vance is criticizing Kamala Harris because she doesn't have any biological children.
Yeah.
So Ms. Harris is a stepmother to Doug Emhoff, first cuck, Doug. and his 2 children. Mr. Vance told Tucker Carlson at the time the U.S. was run by a bunch of childless cat ladies who are miserable at their own lives and the choices that they've made. And so they want to make the rest of the country miserable too. Look at Kamala Harris, Pete Buttplug, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. The entire future of the Democrats is controlled by people without children. How does it make any sense we've turned our country over to people who don't really have a direct stake in it? Boy, is that a stupid comment to make. It's not baseless, but it is a dumb thing to say because there are shit tons of women out there who will never be able to have children. And you feel for them. They'd love nothing more than to have children. There are people listening to us right this second who are in that position. Then there are those people that decide, I am woman, hear me roar. I don't want to have kids. I don't need no man, blah, blah, like that group too. And those are a lot of cat ladies that kind of weird path for some of them.
Probably the louder ones in the group.
Yes. And I will tell you, as someone who is too old to have children now and not having children, you do hit a point when you go, what's the point of all this? Like, what am I doing here? I'm just kind of a burden, is kind of the feeling I get. Like, if you're not helping to, it's kind of one of the reasons I came out here to like play some small part in these kids' existence, because I know that feeling. I've had conversations with Drew about this. I'm sure he wouldn't mind telling me, talking about that a little bit. But, Drew, he was probably my age when he started talking about it to me a little bit about like, yeah, it does feel kind of like, what am I saving all this shit for? What am I collecting this stuff for? If it's not to, enlighten some young mind and teach them about it and pass it on. Like, so there is some truth to that when he's talking about, miserable, blah, blah, blah. The wording is really shit. Yeah. But Pete Buttigieg, butt plug as I call him, also addressed the comments this week, speaking about adopting twins with his husband, Chasten. The really sad thing is, after Chasten and I had been through a fairly heartbreaking setback in our adoption journey, he couldn't have known that, but maybe that's why you shouldn't be talking about other people's children. Well, he was talking about other people's lack of children. Yeah. For one, there was also been, I think Pete needs to sit this one out. He still hasn't like gotten past the maternity leave bullshit that he pulled. Do you remember that, Garrett?
Yeah, when we had the Ohio train disaster and he was on maternity leave.
Yeah, like 3 or 4 months of maternity leave, which, I get it. There's historically a lot of women. It's like, hey, I just gave birth. My body's recovering. Some women, it's really tough recovery. Yeah. I know women personally have had really tough post-birth experiences.
He must have really blown out his asshole.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, did Chasten shit out a kid? And so for a lot of people, they would like to have their husband. That just wasn't an option before. Like male maternity leave was ridiculous. But it's like, there's been a warming to this where it's like, hey, if we can at all afford to make that a reality, it'd be nice to have the husband home to help the woman who just went through this traumatic experience with her body, help her get settled for a few months, as she's nursing and can't just run to the kitchen and get something for herself. All the little shit. I hope I'm not being insulting by saying that, but
no, that's good.
That sort of thing makes sense. When you adopt a child as 2 fucking gay guys, like, settle down on your maternity leave, sir. Like, honestly, it's just kind of silly. I mean, you're talking about a guy who, for the cameras, would ride his bike to work in DC, but then they found video of his Secret Service detail driving him most of the way there and then pulling his bike out of the back of the truck, and then he would ride the last block to work and be like, for the environment. You're like, oh, yeah. Is there anything true about these fucking clowns? Anything ever? So Pete Buttplug can just sit this one out for all I care. There's been some backlash from fans of Taylor Swift because she's got a bunch of cats and no kids. So, Jennifer Aniston in 22 opened up to Allure, said she wished someone had told her to freeze her eggs. It was challenging road for me, the baby making road, all the years of speculation. It was really hard. I was going through IVF, drinking Chinese teas, you name it. but she's got zero regrets. Okay, that is a lie, Jennifer. That's a lie. What you're talking about is regret. We all have regrets, and I understand what you're doing. I do this myself. That what this is, that statement is a defense mechanism. Like, no, this is totally cool how this worked out. I have no regrets. So I would have given anything if someone had said to me, freeze your eggs, do yourself a favor. You just don't think it. So here I am today. The ship has sailed. Yeah. I know what that feels like, and you need to make peace with it. You just do. So I think this is slightly true what JD Vance is saying. I think there's a lot of people who are going to get to a certain age having not had children and realize, fuck, maybe thinking just about me. If that's the case, like I'm not going to have someone drag me down, hold me back for that part of society. They're going to have some regrets. They are. Yeah. Totally different story for the people that can't conceive. I understand that too. I think it's a stupid thing for someone that is running for office to say. Horribly stupid thing. They are still, the Republican Party is in a war with women right now. Whether that's totally fair or not is debatable, but the abortion thing is real, and women feel that is an absolute attack on them personally.
Well, it's what lost the 2018 or 2020 midterms and stuff, or
100%. Like
100% what was just abortion,
dude. The red wave that everybody talked about happening. I don't know if that was really going to happen, maybe, but it certainly was stuffed because of abortion. Yeah. They look at that like these people on the right want to make a decision about my body. And now I understand, I've made this argument many times on this show. The argument is not necessarily about your body as much as the body inside you. And, it's not a fight we're going to solve here. I try to stay out of it. And even that makes me an asshole because a lot of women feel like that makes you not an ally. But for people on the right, I know for a fact, Donald Trump doesn't give a shit about abortion. Doesn't care. The guy's probably had 5 of them, I don't think he cares, but he's got to placate to a base in some way, it's just kind of weird. It's a shitty, insensitive thing to say by JD Vance. If you've got political aspirations, you just have to be more sensitive to that. And, I'm learning the hard way in a lot of respects. Like people that have listened to me or this show for a long time are kind of desensitized to a lot of things, just openly talking about fucking a couch, for instance, is nothing that TDC listeners haven't heard before. They're not going to be pearl clutching about that, making comments about, some childless woman that's a cat lady. Like that's a comment that could be thrown out on this show.
Yeah.
Without question. You know what I mean? Like it's not going to bother people, but I've run into it here. Like when I was packing up to move, I found that t-shirt someone had made, a listener had made. I don't remember who. We had a few of them made. Hooves up, don't shoot, bovine lives matter. Shirts were made. I don't know where those are, but people sent me those. San Francisco Jacks shirts with cum stains all over them were made. With the number 69 in the back and the name That's docking. Yeah. Fucking brilliant. Great artwork. Great. The whole works. I also found the shirts. I screamed. And then on the back it said, but nobody heard me, which goes back to the interview Jay and I did with the chick out west where she got dirt faced by her grandson.
Dirt face was real scary.
Yeah. The dirt face. Yeah. However she said it. So some dirt face shirts were made. I screamed, but nobody heard me. I might have been wearing the shirt a couple weeks ago here.
Okay.
So no big deal. I screamed on the front, but nobody heard me on the back. Well, there was a party here, like a housewarming for the warden's girlfriends, neighbors, just a handful of people, 10 people were here when, 2 weeks after we moved in. And I don't know any of these people at all. They don't really know me. They know I'm in town. I'm here from Michigan. I do a podcast. So they're fascinated. They're interested a little bit, asking me questions. And someone goes, I screamed. What is that? And I was like, oh, yeah, this is podcast related. And so I told the story. I started to go, I screamed, and I turned around and said, but nobody heard me. It goes back to a comment that was made by a guest. And I start laying the story out and fucking horrified the room.
Oh, yeah. I was about to say.
Dude, and I was just like, what? And they're like, oh, my word. Oh, God. And I was like, what? What did I say? Is my dick out? Do I have my dick out or something? What's going on?
Was like it 2001 Dodge Neon?
It was the dirt face. It was the fact that it was a grandson dirt facing grandma. And like they were horrified. And I was like, wow, okay, maybe we've been doing this so long and the people listening are so desensitized to comments, offhanded, trying to be funny, that they're not used to hearing stuff like that. And I freaked some people out. I was like, yeah, maybe you shouldn't listen to my show. Maybe we start there, I don't know if you've ever run into that, Garrett, talking about the show. Have you?
Every time I have to like tell somebody about it, I always have to go with, how offended do you get by things? Like I kind of have to go with a little bit of stipulation just to give them a heads
what
up.
They'll say 100% of the time, because I did it in a commercial. I said it in a commercial that we were going to air on TV, where I was like, if you're easily offended, this is not the show for you.
No, it sounds kind of corny, but it is.
But it's true. And I don't want people here to be offended. My goal isn't to hurt anyone's feelings or that it's never the goal. When you're a comic / show host, anything along those lines, your goal is never to bum people out. Your goal is to entertain people. So you hope that people that it's not for them, they just move along, and the people that do get something out of it, enjoy it, and we all get along. That's the goal. I can't remember where I was going with that. Fuck. Joe Biden on that.
The dirt face shirt and trying to explain it to somebody who just doesn't understand.
Yeah. So, I know what I was going to say. So when I tell people, whether I was back home in Michigan or here now, I mean it when I say it. Like, hey, if you're easily offended, don't listen. 100%. It's not like 99 to 1. No, it's 100% of people go, oh no, I'm not offended by shit. No, nothing offends me. Yeah, I could take anything. And it's like, okay, you think that, but no, you are wildly offended by shit. And I know that to be true because the minute you start explaining stuff, I went through this with a therapist. I talked about it on the show when I was talking about doing Japanese voice, Chinese voice, shit like that. And I was telling her how people in my presence were doing it at an event, and there was a Chinese guy there, a couple seats in front, and he could have overheard it. I don't think he did. It was kind of like a, look, these when we do, and they were trying to impress me, I think. And I was just like, oh God, I was horrified because the last thing I'd want to do is bum that guy out, with some corny, 50s Japanese accent, which is what that is. It's a cartoonish Japanese accent that people just love. Very good. And my therapist, I was explaining it to her, like, I don't know if I'm a good person or a shit person. She's like, oh no, you're an awful person. She was like, no, that's terrible. The fact that people would, yes, they're taking your lead, and that does make you an awful. And I was like, oh, fuck.
Oh, you're the cult leader.
Yeah. Yeah. She's like, you have to be very careful about what you say. I was like, yeah, maybe you shouldn't tune into the show then, lady. I don't think it's for you necessarily. To wrap up the JD Vance, I sent you a video, Garrett, earlier. Did you see the, I don't know. I think this might be an actual, or maybe advertisement for Trump, Vance, campaign. Is it, or is it just someone made it? I wouldn't be surprised by either. What's that?
I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, you haven't, dude.
Nope.
I thought this was fucking hilarious. Clay Travis tweeted this out today. And
yep.
Yeah. So if you can make it, there you go.
Good old boys, never meaning no harm. Beats all you never saw, been in trouble with the law since the day they was born. Straightening the curves, flattening the hills.
Melania.
Someday the mountain might get 'em, but the law never will. Making their way the only way they know how.
Rush Limbaugh.
Rush Limbaugh. His Uncle Jesse. Hilarious.
Just a little bit old in the law will allow.
Dan Scavino is cooler.
Just a good old boy.
Biden as the sheriff.
Wouldn't change if they could.
Hillary as Boss Hog. That makes sense.
He co-trained Hillary Clinton as Boss
Fighting the
Hog.
system like a true modern day Robin Hood.
Trump Vance make America. Now that to me is a great political ad,
Yeah.
right? Go ahead and minimize that.
I'm trying to. It just keeps going away on me.
Yeah. There you go. That's a great political ad. You know, it's not shitting on anybody. It's not, you know, the worst of the worst, because it's going to get so bad. You know, it's kind of funny, you know, a take that Bo and Luke Duke are played by President Trump and JD Vance, and you know, the bad guy, if you will, is sheriff is Joe Biden, and it's just shitty cut video of their heads placed on the bodies of the actual intro to Dukes of Hazzard, and you know, make America great again. I thought it was funny. If people are watching us right now, you could have seen the video played. Anyway, that'll wrap our JD Vance. So I don't know that was terribly political. Does that count as a bunch of politics there?
It's decent. And just thoughts on what we think of this new pick.
Yeah. But I mean, anyway, it doesn't matter. Maybe we'll do some more later, but, we have some people, some other people in the news. Just Stop Oil. Are you familiar with Just Stop Oil?
They're the ones who block the roads, right?
They block roads. They're the ones that throw paint on shit. They're the ones
I hate them.
Yeah. It's like an annoying gnat. You know, they don't really cause harm. They're just fucking irritating and entitled. And they're always entitled like college graduates from wealthy white families. They're just gross. You know, that's what you see. And they've apparently got all the answers, and you will listen to them, and they will hold you hostage if you don't, like that kind of attitude.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know. Is that the same complaint you have about them, Garrett, as someone who's roughly their age?
I just also think it's a little ridiculous that their idea to solve climate change is by halting cars and letting their engines run.
Yeah. Yeah. They haven't thought it through
Not quite
that much on stuff like that. You know, I think you can end a lot of shenanigans by hammering these people when it happens. It's, you know, it's no shock that the George Floyd riots in 2020, summer 2020, did as much damage as it did when you let toddlers act out, because their cause is more noble, because they really believe in their cause. Like that kind of nonsense played out for a long time, caused billions of dollars in property damage, killed dozens of people, injured thousands of police. Like Chaz Chop became the murder capital of the world in 24 hours. Like all of it, you know. Remember their signs asking for shit that they needed? Was it water and sandwiches? No, it was cigarettes and lighters.
First rule, ID checks at the door.
Yeah, exactly. They immediately went to an ID system. They immediately did what you would do. What the concern is, if you go full, like, oh, we don't want police. We want just, counselors coming in. And it's like, yeah, well, the biggest bully then just takes over. If there's no one else there to put them in their place, these already fucked neighborhoods, just you turn into a warlord situation, which is 100% what happened in Chaz in that area. That was Seattle, right? Or was that Portland? Yeah. Seattle. It was in Seattle. So Just Stop Oil activists who threw tomato sauce over a priceless Van Gogh have been found guilty of criminal damage. Anna Holland and Phoebe Plummer, both 22-year-old know-it-alls, flung 2 tins of Heinz soup at the 1888 masterpiece while it was on display at the National Gallery in Europe, August 14th of 22. The pair then proceeded to glue themselves to the wall following the attack on the painting. I love those ones, the ones that glue themselves to a countertop or to a wall. Those are my favorites, you know. Although the oil canvas, worth up to $90 million, was protected by a glass cover and went unharmed, its 17th century Italian frame was damaged. Both Plummer and Holland refused to say who they took instructions from before they carried out the publicity stunt. Fine, you don't want to cooperate on that, and you're busted? Good. Then spend some time in jail. There you go. There's a picture of it if you're watching this. Yeah. The pair had paid a visit to the museum in Trafalgar Square a day before the incident and brought the tins of soup from a Tesco supermarket in central London. They denied but were convicted of damaging property by a jury after a 4-day trial. Why would a trial like that take 4 days? And how would you deny doing damage? Like, really? Wasn't your whole point to do damage? Yeah. They showed no emotion. Judge Christopher Heehire is expected to bail the pair ahead of sentencing on a date that'll come later, so we don't know yet. Last week, he jailed JSO co-founder Roger Hallam and 4 other activists for a total of 21 years after they helped bring the M25 to a standstill on 4 consecutive days. So that's the London Orbital motorway. So it basically circles Greater London. So it's a big thoroughfare in London. And they somehow shut it down for 4 days. How people don't get out of their cars so fucking pissed and beat the shit out of these people, I'll never know.
They're better people than I am.
I mean, yeah. Dude, think about how irritating it is in a traffic jam that is, because there's construction, because there's a fender bender up the road. Now you find out it's some fucking entitled toddlers up there handcuffing themselves together so you can't get through. Oh, I mean, it'd be really hard not to beat the shit out of them. And you see some of those videos. We haven't watched many of them, but there are videos out there of people like losing their shit. I'm sure you've seen some of those, Garrett, where people are going bonkers because it's like, I have to get to a court case or I'm going to jail. I'm going to jail if I don't get to my sentencing is 10 work days. And if I'm late, I go to jail for full sentence. And you motherfuckers, like people like that, or I got to get to my kid from school who's dealing with something. Like they don't seem to care. But that's when you see people get, it's not like they're just interrupted on their way to breakfast. It's like, dude, you're messing with people that have nothing to do with this and messing with their livelihood or their kids or, bigger stuff like the court stuff. I'm like, ooh. This is when
people with real problems.
Yeah, exactly. Judge Heehire said they crossed the line from concerned campaigner to fanatic. Francesca Kohler, who was prosecuting attorney, said Plummer and Holland made their way to the gallery, to Gallery 43, which housed one of the most famous and sought-after artworks, Sunflowers by Vincent van Gogh. When the coast was clear, they took off their jackets to reveal their white T-shirts with the slogan, Just Stop Oil. I got news for you, ladies. Those jackets you were wearing and those T-shirts were produced using oil. So everything about you is hypocritical. They took 2 tins of Heinz soup out of bags and simultaneously threw the contents onto the painting. They kneeled down and began to open tubes of super glue, lathered it over their left hands, and then fixed their hands to the wall behind them. Whilst this risked serious damage to a priceless painting by one of the greatest artists, Vincent van Gogh. Isn't he the ear guy? Didn't he cut his ear off and send it to some broad?
Yep.
Was that what it was? Over pussy?
I think it's something like that. I don't know the whole story, but he is the ear guy.
Yeah, I thought it was over pussy. It usually is. If guys are going to do psycho acts, it's usually over pussy. And I think mailing your ear to some broad would count. But, artists are weird. They do weird things. There was, we say, actual damage to the 17th century Italian frame chosen specifically to house this painting by the National Gallery in 1999. Frame conservator. Did you know there was a conservator for fucking frames?
So somebody who just holds on the frames and nothing else.
Yeah. She's like, your Van Gogh's cute, but look at that frame.
That must be a really boring person.
Wow. Can you imagine? I didn't know that was a thing. Frame conservators. Well, this is one they brought her on the stand. Isabella Cocom. She told jurors
she had no other options. Let's be honest. It was that or stripper.
What?
Last name like Cocom?
Cocom. Yeah. K-O-C-U-M. I mean. Yeah. Cocom's a rough one. I wonder if anyone ever joked about her name when she was growing up.
Knockout cum?
Huh?
KO cum?
Yeah, KO cum. Knockout cum. That's a good one.
Yep. Knockout cum.
She said she was shocked and dismayed by the extent of corrosion this tomato soup has caused to the exquisite antique frame. The frame was specifically chosen for Van Gogh's painting because of the matching coloration. I remain amazed at how corrosive the soup was to the frame, even once the majority of the soup had been removed. I was alarmed to see the remainder was acting like a paint stripper in front of my eyes. Yeah, she's really into conserving frames. It's crazy. Now, I don't know what a frame costs. I mean, I bought them for like $10, but
it can get expensive.
Yeah. Holland explained why they used tomato soup. The first reason is that it would stand out more and it is different to paint. It would stand out more. So what, a clam chowder wouldn't work as well? Wouldn't stand out as well?
Maybe.
I mean, is that the implication? It sounds like that's the implication. Like, I guess you wanted the red tomato base color. The second reason being that tomato soup symbolized the link between the climate crisis and the cost of living crisis. Asked if she understood that the painting could be damaged, she replied, "No, I understand that the painting was protected. The frame never occurred to me at all. I never thought the painting would be damaged. I have been concerned about climate since a very young age. I know that climate change will affect my generation and every generation younger than me the most. It really scares me. I was also really concerned about the cost of living crisis." Blah, blah, blah. Plumber has been described as JSO, so Just Stop Oil. Yeah. Just Stop Oil's poster girl. And last November, she was jailed for 6 months for taking part in a slow march to protest against gas and oil. Are these people going to grow up and get bored with this shit at some point? Realizing I don't know who's taking them seriously.
Well, if their tactics. One of their points is to try and keep the cost of living low. I got a really, really good word that will do that. It's called oil.
That's true.
Lots of plastic stuff, lots of cheap Chinese toys and big factories and Amazon.
Yeah. It's a shame. I've made this point before and I'll make it again. I think you turn off the lights. You know, if they want to super glue themselves to the wall, let them stay there. And if you want to give them $20 an hour, $50 an hour, make it a high paying job. Let them sit there and shit and piss themselves glued to a fucking wall at making $50 an hour for as many days as it takes to pay off the debt to the damage you caused. And it's like you can sit there in a mountain of your own shit and piss for a month. You know, no need to send them to jail. But I don't know how many people would continue to do that if the punishment was, oh, they don't pull us off the wall. They leave us here and turn out the lights and go home. And then we're left to fend for ourselves. It just seems like an easy fix. I don't know if you've got any ideas on it, Garrett, but.
No, that is the perfect solution. It's just let them have their little tantrum and.
Yeah. I mean, isn't that what we do with, they say with babies crying, like new mothers and stuff?
Yeah.
Your first kid in the crib starts wailing and your instinct is to run in there and grab it and all that shit. And then by the second and third kid, you're like, yeah, let it cry itself out. It'll eventually tire itself out. I don't need to run in there and save the day. Maybe that's the answer with these people. And, you know, I don't think you do it like, slave labor we do with jails where we give them 12 cents to make license plates all day. Or I think that's kind of bullshit. It is the modern day slavery. I agree with people on that one.
Or we deny their parole so they can keep firefighting in California.
Yeah. Well, who would do that? No one would do that.
No, nobody would do that. Maybe nobody, at least nobody who's trying to run for president. That'd be awful.
Yeah, that'd be awful. Yeah. And to have a record like that everyone wants to ignore now and acts like doesn't happen.
Ooh, I don't know. A lot of weed charges too in California.
Yeah, for weed charges. And then laughs about it on camera. Have you ever smoked weed before? Yeah, it's kind of crazy. But we'll just sweep that all out because democracy. So,
Just Stop Oil.
Whatever. So, I'm not saying you pay them 12 cents an hour and let them stay there for years, glued to the wall, shitting and pissing themselves. But pay them $50 an hour and be like, yeah, you did $10,000 of damage. I can't do the math real quick in my head, but you might be there for a little bit to earn that 10 grand so that they can properly clean their, the frame. Because that's what I think is what was damaged the most. Obviously, they didn't damage the painting, but so it's just my 2 cents. Nobody's asked me, and I don't know that they'll incorporate that. But I do think you could stop a lot of this behavior if you did that, you know?
I will say $50 an hour is too much because that's only 200 hours to pay off 10 grand.
200. So you want them glued to the wall more than 200 hours?
No, we'll just lower the price. I mean, we can go about, I'll average it out. We can give them about 400 hours. That's 10 weeks of like full-time work. So they even give them weekends off where we can put a bed out or something for them.
It seems a little cruel and unusual by you, Garrett.
That's
I'm
why I'm giving them beds.
Huh?
I gave them beds on the weekends. They get weekends off. They can lay down.
They can lay down. Okay, but I want them glued to the wall, and I don't want them to have access
their hands
to
will still be on
because
the wall. No, they just get a bed.
The point is you glued yourself to the wall. So no, you don't get bathroom breaks. You can shit where you are. You can whiz where you are. No, if you wouldn't have glued yourself to the wall, by all means, you could have access to the bathroom, the laundry room, the kitchen, but you didn't. You're the one that super glued yourself to the wall. So now you sit there and think about that. You know, sit there with the painting, you know, and
that's fair enough.
We'll let you know when you've hit 10 grand because that's the cleaning cost, or 5 grand, whatever it is. You know, maybe then they'll target shittier artworks that we don't care as much about. It's like, well, you did $100 in damage, you know, so you're glued to the wall for the night, you know, instead of going after $90 million paintings that have, you know, $20,000 frames on them that you ruin. Maybe that's the answer that they'll do. And then we don't care as much if they destroy a classic, you know, Hunter Biden, you know, painting.
Give them a day for a Jackson Pollock. Yeah, I looked like that anyways. Go on, kids.
Yeah, maybe they'll go after reprints, stuff like that. They won't necessarily go after the originals, you know, because they're not going to hurt the original painting anyways. But you know, I don't know. I think there's some cheaper artworks like, oh, this is a $5,000 painting hanging in the Louvre. You know, I don't think they're all masterpieces, right? There's a lot of shit in those art galleries.
Yeah.
You know, they got to fill those walls with a lot of stuff. So a lot of it's just filler shit.
It's maybe all they worth what a money laundering person needs.
What's that?
It's all worth what somebody who launders money needs.
Yeah, true. I know what you did there. They don't want to talk about that, the money laundering aspect of it. Gina Carano in the news again. Are you familiar with Gina?
Yeah.
She's
fired from The Mandalorian for saying a very, very vague, semi-Nazi-ish thing that was actually just about bringing people together, not tailing on your neighbors.
Yeah, it was great. And I'll read the I think it was just a retweet too. I think it was just someone else's meme that she retweeted. Don't forget, this might hit a little closer to home. She viciously attacked the trans community. And I mean viciously. And I'll read you that too. If you've got sensitive ears in the room, you might want to turn it down right now.
Flag.
Huh?
I'll get my flag ready.
Yeah, get your flag ready. It might be hard for you to hear what she tweeted at the time because it's damning. But she sued Disney for being shit canned from Mandalorian. I thought she was fine on The Mandalorian. I thought Pedro Pascal, you know, is great as the Mandalorian. Gina Carano is someone that comes from the, what is it, wrestling world, or was it MMA world?
MMA, yeah.
Was she MMA?
I think so.
And like Ronda Rousey and that kind of shit?
Yeah, hold on.
I thought maybe she was wrestler, but maybe she's got a background in both. But either way, she's one of those women that's kind of a badass. Big MMA. Okay. Yep. Okay. So she's a tough bitch. You would not want to mess with Gina Carano. So the point in even mentioning that is her background is not acting. Her background is, you know, like a lot of these guys that have a background in MMA or wrestling, and then they need a huge person, strong as shit on one of these roles. And, you know, there's David Bautista, is it?
Yeah, Dave Bautista.
Who's great in the is it Marvel movies he's in? Fuck.
Yeah, he plays Drax or something like that.
Drax, something like that.
I never watched I don't get too far in the Marvel,
No, Guardians of the Galaxy. My brother got me into it, dude. I got sucked in. And I went down the universe thing. It was when COVID happened, and he was like, no, start at the beginning. Otherwise, you're going to be lost. And I don't know what it is, 15, 16, 20 movies that all kind of sort of tie together in that universe. It's fucking great. You know, you got to put up with a few.
I've seen them all.
Shittier ones in there.
Everything all the way up until Endgame. After that, I just kind of said, fuck it.
Yeah. But point is, David Bautista's fine in those roles. Sort of funny.
Yep. Great playing Blade Runner.
Was he in Blade Runner?
Yep, 2042.
Okay. I haven't seen that.
Oh, I highly recommend it.
Is that worth my time?
Yeah. If you've seen the original, it's a continuation. It's really good.
Have you seen is it like, are they new-ish?
Blade Runner 2042 came out after. It's 2020s, I want to say.
Okay. Have you seen Dune and Dune 2 yet?
Yeah.
What did you think of those?
Those are good.
I like Dune. I think I mentioned that on the show.
I tried to get into the book a little bit, couldn't do it. So I had to watch a summary and breakdown of the book, and then I understood the movies, and I enjoyed it a lot.
Someone highly recommended, someone that was doing construction at my house, he saw me watching it one day, Dune. I was like, let me check it out. And he's like, dude, you got to go back and watch the original from the 80s. And I was like, I don't remember it. Yeah. He's like, oh my God, it's a must. You got to watch it. I'm like, does it hold up? And he's like, 100%. I was like,
no.
Oh, this so doesn't hold up. This is absolute shit. But at that point, I was pretty invested into Dune, the newer one. And I thought it was great. And I started to watch Dune 2. I haven't finished it yet, but I'll circle back to that at some point. I think it was right when I was moving, and I just haven't gone back to it, but I was impressed with that. So Gina Carano, going back to her, I thought she was fine in Mandalorian. There's no reason for, her acting chops in that movie to boot her out. I thought that was silly, but that's what Disney did. And she fucking sued for wrongful termination. And she's sort of become a lightning rod now, a darling of the right, if you will. She did a movie for Daily Wire.
Yep.
And, so that knowing that that's owned by Ben Shapiro or whatever, that's just, it's going to make you. So now she's stuck in that place where, it's like, oh, we've picked sides. It kind of sucks because it's going to tank her whole career. What Disney did will shit can her whole career. I don't know how many fucking Daily Wire movies you can do. I don't know if there's any getting back into the graces of the holier than thou left that cancel you. I don't think there are. If you're on the right, you just, they don't give a shit. So Gina Carano was moved to tears yesterday after a judge ruled that her lawsuit against Disney can proceed after the company tried to have it dismissed. She sued for discrimination in February of this year with the assistance of Elon Musk over her 21 firing from the Star Wars series Mandalorian. Carano had played Cara Dune for the first 2 seasons. She was fired after she compared the treatment of Jews in Nazi Germany to conservatives in modern America. Following the court ruling, she shared a lengthy Instagram statement. I'll read part of it to you. What happened to me was unacceptable, absurd, and abusive, among other things. It should not have happened to me, and it should not happen to anyone else moving forward. Let it stop here. I am moved to tears after a brutal 3.5 years. I am being given the opportunity to move forward in the court of law because the judge and my peers to clear my name. I'm being able to move forward to clear my name. I am so grateful for this opportunity. I quite literally fought to get where I got to in my career through intense ups and downs. I'll keep up that fight to continue to do what I love. I appreciate all who stood by me and defended me, and I'm so sorry that similar situations have happened to some of you. I want you to know that I see you and I stand with you. Thank you to Elon Musk, a man I have never met, who so graciously gave me a fighting chance. Thank you for standing for justice for all of humanity. May God bless you and your family for years to come because he has chosen you for such a time as this. So California-based Judge Cheryl Lynn Peace Garnett denied Disney's motion for dismissal. Defendants have not identified any evidence in the complaint or otherwise to substantiate a claim that they employ public-facing actors for the purpose of promoting the values of respect, decency, integrity, or inclusion. Accordingly, defendants' invocation of the supposedly detrimental effects of plaintiffs' mere presence as one of the defendant's employees lacks constitutional import. At this stage in the litigation, the court cannot conclude, as defendants urge it to, that plaintiffs' continued employment by defendants, so her being employed by Disney, would inhibit or intrude upon defendants' rights to expressive association. Disney argued it had a First Amendment right to fire Gina after she posted tweets that were out of step with the trans movement and an image the company claims was controversial as it pertained to the Holocaust. You know they're full of shit because Pedro Pascal posted something and brought in the Holocaust as well. He posted, so he's the male star of the Mandalorian, and Gina was one of the female stars. Do you remember what he posted?
Not offhand, no.
Okay, so he posted a picture of Jews like in cages, and then posted a side by side with kids in cages, trying to say, basically he was trying to say Trump or Republicans who put kids in cages at the border are akin to the Nazis with the Jews in Germany in the 40s. It doesn't take anyone really smart or overly smart to know that those images of kids in cages were from the Obama administration. Those were originally posted, I believe, don't fact check me on it, 2012 in the AP. I believe those were AP photos from 2012 during Obama's administration. Not that I care that his administration was doing it or anyone else's. Trump actually ended that policy when it got so much pushback. But the idea that, oh my word, look what these Republicans are doing. No, you built those cages, Joe Biden and Obama. Sorry, they did. So, anyways, that's what he did. And there was no pushback because you were shitting on conservatives. Like, that's the only takeaway you can have there, that, oh, he has the right message. So he can invoke the Holocaust and Nazism because he's on the right side. Her post showed Jews screaming, running. And it reads this. And again, it was a retweet. She didn't invent this. Jews were beaten in the streets, not by Nazi soldiers, but by their neighbors, even by children. Sad face emoji. Because history is edited, most people today don't realize that to get to the point where Nazi soldiers could easily round up thousands of Jews, the government first made their own neighbors hate them simply for being Jews. How is that any different from hating someone for their political views? The short answer is it's not. And it's honestly the biggest concern I have right now in society is that when you dehumanize people, your neighbors, your family members, your coworkers, simply because they don't fall in line exactly with your political ideology, I think it leads to this. And that's true on both sides. But, in my humble opinion, we see this way more on the left right now. We just do. Canceling people, shitting on people, all the talk of Nazism and Hitler comparisons.
Yeah.
It's no surprise to me. It's why I talked about it for a while now on the show that someone's going to take a shot at Trump. And they're going to try to assassinate him because of this rhetoric, and that's kind of the point she's making, that don't let these people in powerful positions make you believe that your neighbor that you've known forever, who just happens to be someone that disagrees with you politically, is the hated enemy and is not human like you are. He doesn't have the moral decency that you do. This is the problem with all of this shit. And where is the natural progression of this? It's fucking shooting your neighbor. It's taking shots at a presidential candidate on a campaign trail. That's where this leads 100% of the time. And Gina simply pointed that out. And it was basically, they knew it was attack on them. They knew it was a slight attack on the left, because that's where a lot of this rhetoric is coming from, mainly today. And so her pointing that out was one more strike against her, going against the narrative. And so a court upheld her right to move forward with that lawsuit. We'll see where that goes. Who knows? They're never going to employ her again. That's for sure. The other one is the trans one. And I again, Garrett, I know you're close to the trans community. I am
right upstairs.
Right upstairs. Please say hello to
she's
Marina
in chat
for me.
She can hear us right now.
Oh, nice. Hi, Marina. I can't wait to see you next. I am thrilled that my son Pants is living in a LGBTQ friendly household. I feel very safe knowing that pants is represented under that flag now. That's just how I feel personally. So I know this is going to be painful for you to hear, but it's part of reporting on this story. Marina, I apologize. Gina Carano said in a tweet, they're mad because I won't put pronouns in my bio to show my support for trans lives. After months of harassing me in every way, I decided to put 3 very controversial words in my bio. Beep, bop, boop. I'm not against trans lives at all. They need to find less abusive representation. My word.
How could she?
How dare she? Marina, I'm sorry you had to hear that. Garrett, I also apologize to you. Oh, he's got his trans flag. Wait, where's the brown shit for the trans part? Is that on the bottom?
What's up?
Where's your picture sucks. What? Tell me what I need to send you to fucking fix this. Your picture is so grainy.
Money.
Do you need better internet? What's going on? So yes, to put this in full context for Gina Carano, if you go back a few years, and I'm sure you remember this, Garrett, there was a major, major push. There was a lot of pressure on social media. I don't know if it's quite as intense now, but if you didn't change your logo to a black during Black Lives Matter, you were a monster. And they wanted to force you to comply with that. If you didn't change your fucking image on Facebook or on Twitter to the fucking pride flag during Pride Month, you must hate all fucking people that fall under that banner. It's absurd, and it's a way to force compliance from people. And so there was a massive push to have assholes put he, him, she, her, zer in their bio. So it was just a way for people to show solidarity. I'm on the team. Look at my email name. It's got my name. It's got my company name and logo. It's got my phone number. Oh, and it's got my pronouns. Because for so many of us, we just don't know. We look at normal people and we go, I don't know, man, woman, maybe, I don't know. And thank God they have a banner that they're wearing everywhere to show who they are. Because throughout society, we've all struggled to figure that out. So it's a compliance thing. Well, Gina Carano at the time was getting major push from people like, why won't you just do it? Why won't you put she, her in your bio on Twitter? Like they wanted to demand that everybody fall in line. Get in line. You put she, her in the bio or you're against the community. And she's like, I have nothing against the community, but I'm a strong person who speaks for myself. Don't force me to do shit. I'm not asking you to do anything. Please leave me alone. Right? Is that a fair breakdown of how that
is 100% the way to go about life? Just, hey, I'm doing my thing and I'm not hurting anybody. Why are you trying to force your thing on me now?
Right.
My thing is not bothering your thing, so stop making your thing bother me.
Yeah. So, and it's the forced compliance nature of it. It's a subtle way of breaking people down. Do what we want, or we will make you uncomfortable. We will call you things. We will threaten you with stuff. And so the more you can break down people's will, like, I don't need to fight this battle. Nah, I don't want to get involved in this shit. I'll just put he, him in my bio. Well, you're just breaking that down little by little. It's never enough. You'll never, just don't be an asshole, as Jay and I used to say all the time. How about that? How about we start there? Don't be an asshole to anyone. How about just be a good person? Be a decent person. Look out for your family and friends and your neighbors, and just be a decent human being. And if you could do that, we all win. But this idea that nobody likes being told what to do. Nobody. Take out the garbage. Yeah, go fuck yourself. You take it out. Like nobody likes being told what to do. No matter what you're telling them to do, the fact that you're telling other grown people what they must do feels gross, and nobody likes it. So no, I'm fully supportive of gay friends, trans friends, whatever. Fully. I don't care what people do. Do you? I don't care. I'll be as friendly as I can be to you. I'll treat you with as much respect and love as you treat me. Period. End of story. But no, don't strong arm me into forcing me to put he, him in my bio. Go fuck yourself. No, No, I'm not doing that. So she, as a smartass, she put when they finally enough fucking assholes threw hate at her, tried to cancel her, tried to ruin her, bankrupt her. She put in her bio, beep, bop, boop. Yeah, those are my pronouns.
It's kind of cute, funny.
Which today, honestly, Garrett, since then, those are probably acceptable pronouns at this point. Look, it's Binky.
I was about to call it Cece, but that's not.
Yeah, that's Binky. That's Cece. No, that's Cece.
Okay, I was about to say.
Hi. Come here. You want to say hi to everybody? Come here.
For the audio listeners, love you to death.
Yeah. Oh, come here,
We got a dog.
Binky. Yeah. Oh, there she is.
Oh.
She was sleeping. Yeah, I call her Binky because she does this thing when she's sitting there all day. If you look at her, if you just get into a staring contest with you, she'll just go. She'll just wink one eye.
Yep.
Doesn't matter which eye, but she'll start winking. I'm like, Winky face. Look at Winky face. And she'll just keep winking. And so I called her Winky, and then I called her Stinky, and then Binky. And it's like, oh, look at Binky. Binky face. So, yeah. There she is. Oh, she's so great. So I don't know if we wrap that up, but the beep boop bop thing is probably an acceptable pronoun nowadays. There's probably a category called beep boop bop. I don't know.
I think so.
You know what I mean? Like, why not? There's 100 other ones. What's that?
Robosexuals.
Yeah, sure.
Somebody attracted to a computer.
Sure.
There's a lot of people who you separate from their computer, they might have problems.
Yeah.
I call them
robosexuals.
Beep, bop, and boop are good pronouns. There we go. We figured it out.
And that would be the acceptable way to do it. Like, I identify as beep boop bop too because I'm robosexual. I jack off on my computer daily. Every day I open my computer, hit up YouPorn, YouJizz, whatever the fuck you're going to now, and I finish myself
the show tab's
off.
Closed.
What's that?
I hit up YouPorn and then I make sure the show tab's closed.
Exactly. So I don't know. I it'll be interesting to see where this story goes. Yeah. So anyway, to wrap that up too, I highlighted one more thing with Gina Carano. The complaint states defendants went so far. So part of her complaint, Carano argued the entertainment giant Disney turned a blind eye to her male co-stars, who she claims put up offensive posts aimed at Republicans. Defendants went so far as to try and convince Carano's publicist to force Carano to issue a statement admitting to mocking and insulting an entire group of people. Do you see how this goes? The strong arming. You will comply. You will comply with our demands. So she needs to issue a public statement admitting to mocking or insulting an entire group of people. Throw yourself on the sword, which Carano has never done. I would never do that either. No, you just don't. You don't apologize for that shit at all. After she refused to issue the statement, defendants demanded and defendants rejected Carano's proposed alternate statement. I don't know what that statement would be. My guess is, I'm sorry if you were offended by this.
There's not much else you can say.
I mean, what else can you say? That's usually what you would say. I'm sorry if this insulted you in some way. That wasn't my intent.
I mean, she could do the Matt Rife and just link here's my apology and link a bunch of bicycle helmets.
Yeah, exactly. That's what a comic does. Yeah. And, so they rejected her proposed alternate statement. Defendants increased their harassment of Carano. She says she was then told to meet with Lucasfilm president Kathleen Kennedy and employees who identified as LGBTQ+. After declining to do so, she was terminated shortly after from The Mandalorian, as well as other Star Wars titles. So I don't know what other titles, probably stuff that was going to be coming along. I don't know. But yeah, it's shitty, man. We're in a shitty spot where just having a different political view, because that's all that is. It's just teams. It's just getting on a team and hating everybody who's not on your team. Like it's a shitty spot we're at right now. But so where we're living in, what are you going to do? So it'll be interesting to see what happens when these cases start going through the court systems. And Gina's case obviously got past its first hurdle.
Well, that's the big thing too, is Elon Musk came out publicly and announced he will fund anyone who's suing Disney.
Really?
Yeah, that's kind of why he's linked on Gina Carano's case, is he's funding it himself.
Yeah, he's not fucking around with this stuff, man.
No, he's pissed.
He's pissed. You know, I did you watch any of the interview he did the other day with Jordan Peterson?
No, I can't stand Jordan Peterson. I heard some news that came out of it, but
yeah, Jordan's great. He really is. I could see why some of them might be annoyed with him, but and I'll be honest with you, a lot of it goes over my fucking head. You know, he's too smart for me. But he was talking to Elon Musk, and Musk was talking about, you know, his decision to go after some of these companies, Twitter, Disney, and it's about the, you know, if you believe him, the woke mind virus that he thinks is responsible for killing his son. And he says that's kind of the, you know, they call it dead naming. So his son is trans now, thinks that his kid was, you know, with laws passed in California where you don't need to tell a parent what's going on with their kid. The school can handle it. And if your kid wants to transition, it's none of your business, parents. Like that kind of shit. You know, he's probably uber sensitive to it because his son is trans, and he thinks that this is not, you know, normal development through society. This is being manipulated, and you're preying on young people, impressionable people, and you're taking advantage for whatever your cause is. Doesn't mean those people don't exist, but you're taking full advantage of it. And this woke mind virus, where no one can have a disagreement or question you in any way, is bullshit. And his goal is to fucking destroy it. Yep. And so it doesn't shock me that he takes up Gina Carano's case. And, you know, someone like her maybe has a few dollars, but certainly not enough to take on Disney. Well, Elon Musk fucking does. You know, that's the reality. Is you don't want to get buried in litigation with a mega giant corporation like Disney. You can't fund it.
No.
And so Elon Musk doing that. I mean, look at Twitter. Look at Twitter today. Twitter is a usable platform today. It is. Community Notes is great. Gives you a nutshell of what all the commenters are saying. Like, it is so night and day, the difference when it got out of the woke bullshit that was running that fucking company for the last few years.
You can get monetized and paid off of Twitter streams now.
Yeah. I can't wait to get back on Twitter. I still have my Twitter. I barely post on there, but that's where I historically go for my news. I'll see what's trending, what I care about. And I can easily access multiple arguments, multiple articles, see what other people are saying on both sides, and go and kind of form like, okay, here's where the reality is. The truth you can see people's biases, my own included, but you can kind of get to the crux of a story quickly with Twitter, which I love. I'm currently locked out because I switched phones and I don't know where my fucking password book is, but I'll get back in there and I'm able to do it on my desktop, which is not where I usually do Twitter, but it's fucking awesome what they're doing. When you take away the absolute horror show that was going on Twitter, when you just kind of neutralize that like Elon Musk did, I don't think I can express just how important and how big a deal that was. Just, I don't think I can, for society as a whole. I just don't think I can. So many industries have been captured. They just have. And we see it every day. So to have Twitter, it was such a bummer trying to weed through the nonsense on Twitter, and whatever they're doing is working and cleaning it up. And so, it doesn't surprise me that he's going after it. And I wish him all the luck. I know our liberal friends would fucking hate him, which is just so weird. They were his biggest fans with Tesla and all that shit, electric cars just a few years ago. And, it's sad. It's sad what happens, but
I think overall he's trying to do some good. That's all.
I think so. Is he perfect? No.
I think he fucked up. He's had some takes that I don't agree with, but overall, I do think what he's trying for is for everybody to be able to say their point free and equal.
Yeah.
And that's something I can agree with and stand behind.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. Like, you're not going to find a bigger free speech proponent than me. You're just not.
Anybody in radio.
Yeah. Well, no, you'd be surprised. In media, there's plenty of people.
I completely forgot that NPR exists.
Yeah. The people, I don't know how else to say it. The people on the left. I mean, Don Lemon absolutely hates free speech. I don't care what he says. His actions speak louder than his actual words. He thinks words are dangerous and violent. And it's like, some can be sometimes, but you don't just shut everyone up who disagrees with you. That's not how this works, Don. Sorry. It's a scary state, but seeing that thing come full circle and get righted as quickly as it has is impressive. I'm looking forward to this movie. Do you have the trailer I sent you yesterday by chance, Garrett?
I can probably get back up real quick.
Sorry, dude. I didn't send it to you today, but I emailed it yesterday. And I have high hopes for this.
Yeah. Give me 1 second to read an ad real quick.
I'll talk about this and as you try to find it. So Matt Walsh, who is doing some exceptional writing these days and reporting, he really is. I anytime I see his name pop up, I'll give it a read. He's well researched. I know if you're on the left, you probably hate him as much as you hate Ben Shapiro, but educated, well-researched arguments are important, and I enjoy them, so I read them. And Matt Walsh blew the doors off with What is a Woman? And that is a fantastic movie. It's non-combative. It's just, here, say your piece. Let's get to the bottom of this. Say your piece. I will and these people fucking bury themselves. And it's a fantastic movie. It got snubbed by everything, obviously, because of what runs Hollywood and whatnot. Well, he has a new, this is going to be a theatrical release. And so based on What is a Woman, I can't wait for this. And it's called Am I Racist? And he kind of goes undercover, goes on a journey through anti-racism seminars, woke dinner parties, even a sit-down interview with Robin DiAngelo to answer the question, am I racist? And he says regarding the Robin DiAngelo, I don't want to spoil it, but it goes to a pretty wild place. I can't remember what she was. So they released the trailer earlier this week. He goes headfirst into liberalism and bumbling and zealous convert to the world of DEI. His interrogations on anti-racism come not just with leftists who are eager to be lectured about whiteness, but also regular Americans who respond to questions about the broader structures of racism. Why don't we watch the trailer? He did this. What is a woman? He went man on the street with regular people and asked them what is a woman and blah, blah, blah. And then he went to academic scholars who are trying to shove this shit in everyone's face. So am I a racist? Let's check out the trailer.
Clear what's happening in this country. It's Nazism. Republicans are Nazis. You cannot separate yourselves from the bad white people.
Growing up in the 90s, I never thought much about race. Sure, you noticed, but never really seemed to matter that much, at least not to me.
Being a white, straight, cisgender man, it's the top of the pile.
I'm on the top of the pile. That's me. Am I racist?
I would really appreciate it if you left.
I'm trying to learn. I'm on this journey.
Can you please leave?
If I'm going to sort this out, I need to go deeper undercover. If I want to be an ally, I need to look like one.
Just put it in a man bun.
What is racism?
Martin Luther King said not to judge people by the...
Martin Luther King said a lot of stuff.
Is America inherently racist?
What the hell is that?
The word inherent is challenging there. America is racist to its bones. All of the...
So inherently.
Yeah. The entire system has to burn. And I'm not going to even use save this country. This country is not worth saving. This country is a piece of shit.
Oh, sorry. Sorry.
They gonna say I'm racist.
Joining us now is Matt, certified DEI expert.
Here's my certification. Where are you guys on your anti-racist journeys? So I'll look around the room and point to who we believe is the most racist person in the room. We want to rename the George Washington Monument to the George Floyd Monument. Would you mind signing it? You will? What do you think about this issue of heteronormativity and how it intersects with the broader structures of racism in society?
They gonna say I'm racist.
What's up with white people? What are you doing to decenter your whiteness?
Who's making it the center? Why are they doing that?
And what you're doing is you're stretching out of your whiteness. This is more for you in this field. White.
Folks.
White.
Trash. White supremacy. White woman. White boy.
White.
Entitlement.
White.
Centering.
White.
Silence.
Is there a black person around here?
So there's a black person right here. Does he not exist?
They gon' say I'm racist, but they call everybody racist.
Hi, Robin.
Hi. And what's your name?
I'm Matt.
Matt. Hi, Matt.
Nice to meet you.
Just had to ask who you are because you have to be careful.
Never be too careful.
They gon' say you racist, but they call everybody racist.
That looks great.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's going to piss a lot of people off. No doubt about it. That's going to piss a lot of people off. But
yeah, a little bit.
funny as shit seeing people talk about burning the whole country down. I believe that comes out September 13th, theatrical release. It'll probably be on Daily Wire Plus as well. We'll see. All right. Why don't we kill it there, dude? We'll do a couple emails and get out of here. Maybe Raj will be here Monday. I haven't talked to him yet. What's that?
Do a read real quick before we get in the emails?
Yeah, go ahead. Do you have one?
Yeah, just the athletic clubs coming in.
The what?
Do we have one? Or did we
I don't
do
know
them
what
all
you're
already?
playing.
Never mind then.
I did one earlier this week. We're good.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know if we were doing once a week or.
No.
Cool.
Yeah. For right now. Let's see. Boy. Hey, Mike. This is going to be a long political season, being lectured by Raj. His talking points are straight out of the mainstream media. And before you accuse me of being a Trumper, I am not. Can't fucking stand either of them. I found it funny that when discussing DEI, Raj says, we'll never know if a hire got the job because of their race or if they're qualified, even though the president clearly said he hired his press secretary because she's black and loves pussy. Yet when discussing whether the cop that killed George Floyd would be in jail had it not been recorded, we will truly never know. But Raj's opinion is he wouldn't. So he stands firmly on that. Lastly, the big difference between Trump's delegates and Harris delegates is that Trump earned his in a voted upon primary and Harris was handed hers. No one chose her. Yet when Mike played you a video explaining that, your only response was basically to scream orange man bad because you cannot defend that point. Don't talk over Mike. Let him run the show. Hi, Woke Bay. Connor. Hi. I should have saved that. I'll save that for next week when Raj is here. I have more there. Why don't we kill it there? Thank you, buddy.
All right.
For being here.
No
we'll come back on Monday and everyone have a great weekend and we'll